Welcome back to Channel 1, it's your boys, I hold it down here. We are back and better than ever. It is me and you for the next couple of minutes talking about the Oscars, and I get it. If you're looking for a deep dive analysis on every single category and prediction, this is not going to be the video. This is just me and you having a good time. So go ahead, get your popcorn lubed up with whatever lube of your choice. Butter, perhaps? That would be ideal. You know what, the side note about movies and going to eat movie snacks, I am not a fan of loading up popcorn with butter. I kind of think it's gross. To each their own, but you know what? I am going to yuck your yum. Stop doing that. And nonetheless, let's go ahead and talk about the Oscars as an award show in general, because to me, I think it is probably one of the fakest award shows on the planet, because there's so many movies, in my personal opinion, that people pretend that they enjoyed. People that are maybe not in the world of movies or anything like that. They're the super artsy films where it's got not much, but a bunch of dialogue and it's great cinematography and everything like that and everything in between, right? But I feel like sometimes the hype for certain movies is a little forced, and every time I've seen, oh my God, this movie has been nominated for so many Oscar awards and it won the Best Picture, and there's so much hype around it and everyone's saying it's the greatest movie ever, and then I watch it and maybe it's because the expectations that have been set that I'm going to be mind blown. But I feel so often whenever I see movie of the year, I'm just left thinking, it was okay. It was all right, but it didn't meet my needs and it didn't meet my expectations. So sometimes when it comes to the Oscars, I always feel I don't identify or associate with what people are saying at all, because oftentimes I do have a soft spot. Great song, by the way, for very trashy movies, bad movies, and I do have like another soft spot as well for Oscar-like movies, if that makes sense, like movies that are more well thought out and there's a lot more production value into it. Or, you know, every now and then you see a priest dinosaur, and that is something that I like and something I enjoy. So I think there's got to be a fine balance of what is movie of the year quality, all right? So nonetheless, I'm curious what people in general think sometimes too, because anytime I have a conversation, unless it's like the super film people that went to school for film, they're like, well, actually, when a way I look at The Rock and how it's signified the foreshadowing event of how everyone's going to die in the 12th scene on section 18.4, I'm like, bro, you lost me, which is exactly what happened to me in college. I took a film class and I quickly decided I don't think I'm like the people in this room. Me and you, I'm sure you're great on everything else. It's just the way you're talking about film makes me want to jump off a cliff, okay? Film's supposed to be fun, I feel. Film is supposed to make you feel some things, and film should be enjoyable. I think that's a key part as well, because sometimes it almost feels like I'm doing a chore when I'm watching some of these Oscar-nominated movies. Now, we got my thoughts on the Oscars out of the way. I do want to talk about Best Picture, because I do have an issue with Best Picture, because I think there's one movie that was not even nominated that should be the Best Picture of 2026, because I think just the impact and the hype and the influence it had on the world, like it had the world in its hand, all right? It was just all day long, all night long. Everyone was talking about that movie. And that's a little teaser. How about that for your boy, okay? Best Picture, I'll go through the nominations really quick. The Secret Agent, Marty Supreme, F1, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Begonia, I don't know why I said it like that, Train Dreams, Sinners, Hamnet, and Sentimental Value. So a bunch of nominated movies, and none of them should win Best Picture of the Year. You want to know why? Because the Best Picture of the Year, in my opinion, is an animated movie. Now, it's also probably nominated for Best Animated Film, which I understand. I just think it should have won both, because K-Pop Demon Hunters, I think, was the greatest movie of 2025. And I just mean the cultural impact that movie had, right? The soundtrack, the animation, the merch that was everywhere, the sales they probably created. There's already talks of a sequel. I think it's already been confirmed as well. And the movie itself is fun. It's engaging. Everybody can watch it. There's so much replayability of the movie. It's like a feel-good movie. It could be on a surface level, just like a fun cartoon for kids, right? But it can also make people think, you know, you should embrace who you are, which I think is such a great theme as well. So it's got a great theme, it's clearly well produced, and it's not just a movie because it's also got a soundtrack, and they also somehow organically created a freaking K-pop group out of thin air, all right? A bunch of animated people, they got real people, and now we got Huntrix, I guess probably going on tour at some point. And if they don't, that is an absolute failure on the people in charge of this movie. I feel like that is such an easy transition to do. Now, I get it. All three of them, solo artists as well, so your schedules got to align, everything in between. They also probably got to make more music, because I don't know if you can go on tour with like 6 songs. Okay? All right, so maybe make some more music, get the hype going, or, do a bunch of covers for... No, kidding, do not do the covers thing. But I do think, to me, I think just... that is what a great movie is. Now, I'm not saying a great movie needs to feel good all the time, right? I'm perfectly fine with depressing endings. I'm very okay with the lead character dying at the end. I enjoy being sad. That's called depression, and I have it. But nonetheless, I do think that that movie really... that's what a movie should be. Like, it should have impact. It should have cultural impact. And I do think there's value in a movie that is watchable from little kids to grown adults. I think that's what separates that movie from most other movies that are on this list, right? Is that anybody can enjoy it. Anybody can understand it. There's surface level meaning, and then there's deeper meaning. And there's also different avenues and areas that movie has expanded into, whether it's through digital media, whether it's through music, whether it's through a bunch of other things, right? I think that's what makes a movie Best Picture of the year. Now, maybe there's some rules and technicalities that would prevent animated feature film being the Best Picture. I'm sure there are, because the Oscars is outdated and it's annoying. But, so that's my thoughts on that. Do I think... who's going to win this? I would imagine Marty Supreme is probably going to win it, because there's a bunch of hype. Or maybe Sinners, because you know what? Side note as well onto Sinners, I have tried so many times to really dive deep into Sinners, and it's been enjoyable. It's just something about Sinners for me. I can't just watch it in one sitting. Like, I need to separate it in different parts. And it's not even like, oh, he's just a Gen Z guy, can't pay attention, right? Maybe I'm just not in the right mindset for Sinners. And also the issue when it comes to, once again, Best Picture nominees, when it comes to hype and how people are talking about it. I thought this movie, going into it, is going to be the greatest movie of all time, and it's going to completely change my life. It hasn't happened yet. Now, maybe I will sit down again at some point, really sit down and watch the movie. But the problem here with that is watching a movie should never feel like a chore. And I think if it's a Best Picture nomination, it's hard for me to say that you are a Best Picture if I really had to put effort into watching said movie, which is why I think K-Pop Demon Hunters is something that should be the best movie of the year, because I didn't feel like I was doing a chore. Did I feel a little silly heading into it, right? Because on paper, K-Pop Demon Hunters sounds like a dumb movie. It sounds low budget. It sounds idiotic. It sounds like it's for kids. And all that being said, I went into it with an open mind, and I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was great for everybody. So that's my thoughts on Best Picture. I'll give you some more nominations here. Best Actor, Michael B. Jordan, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ethan Hawke, Timothy Chalamet. I don't know why the extra on there, but Wagner Moura as well for Best Actor. I imagine a lot of discussion when it comes to Best Actress, Best Actor. It's OE or even feature film, right? I feel like it's going to go back and forth between Sinners and Marty Supreme, because I feel 2025 is kind of a decent year for movies, but I wouldn't say I was actually mind blown by anything, if that makes sense. So, you have that Best Actress: Emma Stone, Jessie Buckley, Kate Hudson, Rose Byrne, and Renate Redden-Sneeve for Sentimental Value. I keep seeing Sentimental Value. I'll have to check, because there's a lot of these movies I haven't seen. And I think that's also the issue, is sometimes you get all these movies and I'm like, I've never seen it once. We don't need Best Supporting Actor, doesn't matter. Now, Best Animated Feature: Arco, Little Amelie, or the character of Rain, Zootopia 2, Elio, or K-Pop Demon Hunters. I feel like K-Pop Demon Hunters clearly should win that movie. So I think those are kind of like the major categories when it comes to the Oscars now. I'm sure there's a bunch of other nominations and categories that people are interested in, and maybe they'll get the love, maybe they won't. But nonetheless, I will say it's kind of curious, though, because when you get into Oscars, you don't really look at statistics or anything. So just like looking at the box office, right, is movies that came out in 2025, how they did at the box office. A Minecraft movie was the #1 grossing movie of 2025, followed by Lilo and Stitch, Superman, Jurassic World Rebirth, and Zootopia to your top 5. Wicked, number 6. I think that was a sequel, right? Sinners at 7. The Fantastic Four at 8. How to Train Your Dragon at 9. And Avatar, Fire and Ash at 10. So there's a bunch of movies that did come out. I do think some underrated movies that released. Thunderbolts, I think, maybe didn't get the love it really deserved. I thought it was a fun movie. I thought it made me interested in the Marvel universe again, and that was kind of hard to do because I was completely cooked on it. Now, that being said, have no desire to go back to the Marvel universe. I am good on that. Don't want it. Don't need it. Final Destination Bloodlines was a popular one. I didn't see that one. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Predator Badlands is on my list, so I definitely want to watch that as well. So when you think of Oscars, right, there's going to be a lot of movies that I think, one, people that haven't really seen those movies that are on the list, they're probably never going to watch them because a lot of the major box office sellers, right, I feel because maybe they are too box office-y or maybe too mainstream sometimes, they don't really get enough credit for what they pulled off. But that's where you are when you come into Oscars because there's a fine balance of who just sells the most, because then we could all just look online, or who is the most artsy or who had the best, which is always subjective, and there's always going to be anger no matter who wins. So it's a fine line. And remember, this is just movies. It's a bunch of millionaires celebrating themselves. So if you're really angry about anything, pump the brakes a little bit. It's not that serious. It's just Oscars. And Nuremberg came out this year. What? I just saw it the other day. Pretty good movie. I think, you know what? Maybe that movie needs a little more love too. Because I do think there is something special when a movie there's a balance of not having a bunch of action, because that movie is all just a trial, right? There's no World War II battle scene or anything like that you see. It's all just in the trial or in the jail cell, right? It's dialogue. And I think that's also a specialty for a movie, is when they can engage you with just their words. Like, that's a powerful script. And I think that's another sign of a great actress as well, and a great movie, because you don't need to have a million things going on and a bunch of explosions to capture and engage an audience when it's just a movie like that. I think when you have a great story, when you have great characters and great cinematography, great score, all those things and everything in between, right? That's another function of what can create a good movie. So those are my thoughts on the Oscars, and we'll see who wins. I will say K-pop Demon Hunters, they should win everything, okay? Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next week, 1 to 2 videos a week. Your boy, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the Oscars, and I got nothing else. That was a long pause. Hit the little outro, and I'll see you next week.
Show me your best LeBron.
Oh, LeBron silencer?
Good night, girl. I'll see you tomorrow.